He's right.
It is true. You can't see stuff.
That looks like magic.
All right. So is everybody still in around here? Say good morning to Mr. Jason.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Mr. Jason Voorhees.
Close.
You can see.
I always camped at Lake Crystal, Ever Crystal Lake.
Oh my God.
Honestly, it is. I'm really not supposed to show models how to do this.
My God.
You guys are too young for Harry Potter?
You
Really?
watch Harry
Come on.
Potter? I watch you too. Like,
I'm watching Harry
Dude, that
Potter.
thing's cool. Hey, how did not expect? I made two already. I've already made two.
It's
I'm not.
You don't watch Harry
I've
Potter.
already made them, so it's not really that exciting to me because I already made some.
What's that?
Cause I made. Oh my God, that
It
makes
is. This is actually on the inside filled with razor sharp glass.
Whoa.
If I don't do this exactly right,
But how did
I'll come up missing.
He's missing. Oh wait, he's not.
Ah, it's still
You
there.
missed one, so you'll be all right. You still got 4 others.
But how did you put your hand in there?
Well, what I'm doing to make the pottery make shape, right? I've got an inside and outside
That's
hand.
made two.
And the way that my hands work together is what actually causes the shape to happen,
Just put my
right?
hand like
So
this.
I'm never, when I'm in there, I'm never pushing against my fingers like this. I'm always doing like this, I'm doing like that. And whichever hand goes last, it goes the opposite way. So to make this, my inside hand goes last, and then it switches and my outside hand goes last. So that's one of our fat belly mugs. We're gonna set up another board and keep on rolling.
Wow.
Oh
So how long
wow.
is that going to have to sit and dry, Jason?
About a week and a half, a week to a week and a half.
So those pieces need to sit there. They're going to dry out some. Now he's going to cover those up tonight. Tomorrow he's going to come back and he's going to add the handle to the mug. And how do you do that?
Well, our handles we make by extruding. Show of hands, who has ever played with Play-Doh and made like spaghetti noodles out of it, right? Put it through and you squeeze it through all those little bit of holes and little shoestrings and noodles come out, right? Well, that's extruding. You squeeze that through a die. Our die is just one hole in the bottom though, and it's shaped like a bean. So what we'll do is we'll squeeze the clay through that bean-shaped hole, and then we'll cut it to the lengths that we need. From there, what I'm doing is, as I go, I create this skim, right? So all this stuff that I've got on my hands that I do this number with, I keep that towards the end of the day. Let me dig around and get some. There we go. This stuff's called slip, right? So this is like the glue that's going to hold the handle onto the pot. And what I'll do is I'll come and I'll scratch it. I'll scratch here where it's going to touch, and I'll scratch here where it's going to touch. Put that slip on there, and then put the handle on there. And it sticks it together. It glues it on there.
So when he's done with that piece, he's going to have what's called greenware, and that's like this little picture I've got in my hand. So you can see it's still a little bit dark. The pieces he's got over there are much darker because there's a lot of moisture in those. This one has already started to dry out. So this is called greenware. This has not been fired in the kiln yet. And how hot does that first kiln get?
The first kiln is 1,800 degrees.
1,800 degrees. So when they fire that in that kiln, and this kiln is huge, it's big enough that we can fit probably about 15 or 16, maybe 17 if we squeeze it in real hard.
I don't know. These kids are awfully small, Jimmy. I think we can get them all in there at one time.
Pile them on top,
I think so. Stack them like cordwood.
and then bake it to 1,800 degrees.
They'll be well done.
Well, and when you come out, you're going to be a piece of bisqueware. So you're going to be like this one. So I'm going to pass this little one around first. You're going to feel this is kind of soft. It's a little bit choppy. You're going to get a little bit of pottery dust on your fingers, so you'll have a little bit of that. I'm going to start it down here. Let's work its way there. How's that? So you can start that right there. If you want to touch that, you can feel it and pass it on to the next person. So like I said, that's
Oh, that's right. You do it
He's
at
going to show you
home.
just a little bit. Yeah, he'll tell you. So like I said, after they fire it in that kiln, it becomes bisqueware, and it's like this piece here. It's pretty white now. It's a white color. And listen real closely. Do you hear that? You hear that tink, tink, tink? That's the sound of the mix because now all the moisture is gone. Now when we put that piece in the kiln, there's still a little bit of moisture, a little bit of water in that, just like the pieces he's making over there. What happens to water when you heat it up?
Centigrade.
It boils, and what does it turn into? Steam, exactly. So that steam is going to start coming out because we get it really, really, really hot.
Evaporation.
Evaporation, exactly. Very good. So if we took those pieces he's making right now and put them in the kiln, there's a lot of water in that clay right now. So if they put it in there and fired it up really hot, that water's going to evaporate really, really fast and expand, and it's going to take that clay with it. What's going to happen to that then? It's just going to explode. Boom!
Boom. You scared me.
So we're going to make sure it's good and dry before we put it in the kiln, and then we can fire it into the biscuit. So again, I'm going to pass this one around so you can feel this as well. So we haven't glazed this piece here, guys. You want to see this?
Roll it on again.
So there's no glaze on that yet. All the pieces that we use have glaze on. So how does that happen, Jason?
Alright, so the glazes they're like paints, right? They're made up of minerals and metals. And each one's got its own recipe. It's a little bit different from the others. The metals are what actually colors it, right? So, has everybody seen like the green stuff that gets on a penny, right?
Yeah.
Well, that's called copper oxide. It's like copper rust, right? That's why the Statue of Liberty is green, right? So, what we do is we use that stuff as a colorant, and in our kiln, our big oven, we kind of build them like a grill. You know, the heat source is at the bottom, and there's a vent at the top. We'll close off that vent and kind of starve all the oxygen from the environment. And it starts pulling the oxygen from the glazes themselves. The metals all have an oxygen molecule on them, and they give it up to the kiln. When they lose their oxygen molecule, you leave the color behind. So copper oxide becomes green.
Now all that clay that he's scraping off into the bucket on this side over here, that clay is still going to be used. So they're going to take that and work it back into the clay like he's using up here and use it all over again. So there's no waste. Like on the left-hand side, he's skimming that off and now it becomes a slip. He uses it like this glue. And on the right-hand side over here, on his right-hand side, that's going to become another piece, a layer, and mix that back up and make more pottery. So here's some pieces that have been glazed. I've got some I'm going to pass around. This little vase right here, you'll see is 2 different colors. So how does that happen, Jason?
Well, what we'll do is we'll layer colors on top of other colors too. Like it's dipped in the one color, the bottom color first, and then we add a second glaze to the top. What ends up happening is when they get really hot in the kiln, it gets up to about 2,400 degrees in that last fire, right? So they actually melt and kind of blend together. Who's ever used watercolors to make paintings and stuff, right? Well, you know, like when you drag the water across it, it blends the colors together to make colors in between them. That's kind of what happens with our glazes too. Instead of blending with water, they melt into each other and blend together. Like these two here, this mug and this batter bowl, they both got green on them, right? Well, the mug is just green by itself, and the batter bowl is green with another color underneath it. So this green melted into the color underneath it, and it makes that kind of really shiny, darker green color too.
I swear, how did they make
And
this?
here
It's
I've
like
got a couple
magic.
bowls I'm going to pass around. You'll see they're both pretty much the same size. They're made just the same way. He'll throw those on the wheel. This one has a brim to it, so a wide rim right here at the top of it. This one here, they decided to